Namaskar, Mooji ji. I'm
Namaste.
very grateful for uh, being here, and I'm what has been happening with me since the past 1 year. It is undescribable because I got introduced to your teachings, and at one point of time in my life, I heard a saying by Lord Hanuman, which even you have mentioned. And in that saying, Lord Hanuman says to Lord Ram that when I do not know who I am you. And he says that when I'm identified, when I'm identified with myself, then the only thing I know is to serve you.
Yes,
But I'm sorry, I couldn't frame it. He says, when I know who I truly am, then I am you. But
yes,
when I do not know who I am,
yes,
then I serve you.
yes,
And I heard this saying, sir, and when I heard this, it went so deep inside me that I became very devoted to this form which Lord Hanuman signifies.
yes.
And
The
ever
form of
since that,
devotion. The form of
yes,
devotion, yeah.
Ji Guruji. And since then, I met a lot of people connected with your Sangha, and I truly grasped and got introduced to your teachings. And right now, I'm very grateful that I have a clear understanding about what your teachings are. And I'm very clear about this, this, what is the, I'm very clear about what self-abidance truly means.
Hmm.
But Guruji, I have seen you talk about that even the presence is seen. And there is something deep inside me which cannot wait to completely be one with God. Now truly understand that the greatest devotion is truly abiding in the I am and letting your attention fall back to I am in the midst of all experiences. That is true devotion because this I am itself is, you say that it is the name of God. This
Yes,
for me, I am is now Hanuman. I am is the form which Hanumanji represents. But there is this thing inside me which really wants this absolute thing. It really wants to vanish. And I truly understand that this is also a form in my mind. This is also
yes.
an
The
ego.
form
Yes,
in
sir.
your mind, the form in your mind, is a bait. If you understand what I mean, there are some people who have a very very competitive mind, set. I remember one man even some years ago. He came to satsang and he said to me, I've always been good at everything I do. He told me this. I've always been good at everything. When I do yoga, I became the best yogi amongst the people I was studying with, even better than my teacher. Whatever I do, I've always been there. I was working in the stock market. I was the best amongst the people. I had to be the best. And now I come to see you. I want to be the best meditator. The best meditator I want to be. Yes. I say, do you want to be the best nothing also? You want to be the best nothing. So there are some people for whom, and God works in this way also. The truth works in this way also. But when I hear from you, I don't see that. I see that, yes, an authentic processing. And you heard this message because many people may have heard this, but maybe they didn't take to this. You see, they say, I'm satisfied, at the place of the being, I'm satisfied. And of course, it's a most elevated state. But you heard, that even the beingness, you see, it is the essence of the waking consciousness, the sense I am, before it adopts personhood as its next projection. The root, the witnessing of the phenomenal world arises in the space of the I amness, the isness, the I amness, let's call it that. And because these terminologies are not speaking about objective realities, not speaking about qualitative things, sometimes you hear the term consciousness being used in one way, like consciousness meaning I call it the instrumental consciousness in which the world manifests and is perceived and so on. And the unmanifest consciousness. So sometimes people might get confused about that. But now we are speaking about it, you see. And I feel it's a very timely a question and request, and also a yearning on your part, which I feel is very, very authentic. I say that, yes, even the sense of being, as profound and as beautiful as it is, it also appears because the waking state in which consciousness arises in the waking state, and with it arising comes in again the awareness of yourself as a living being, as a particular, I meanness arises in that consciousness. But if consciousness itself appears, it must appear inside something which was already did not appear. You see, if you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I say, what was your state at 6:59:59? What was your state prior to waking up? What did you know? So only with the arising of the consciousness, you become aware, sometimes the awareness is here and identity hasn't kicked in. But the awareness itself that arises in the waking state is synonymous with the I amness, you see? But sometimes I say the consciousness, the vibration of the I am is here, and it is self-aware as itself as I am. I consciousness am. I am. And thereafter it functions as the witness to all that it manifests as through time and space and form, that is. Now you're asking now, because you caught me saying that even the sense of presence itself is observable. So therefore, it has some degree of phenomenality. Compared with everything that appears in the field of consciousness and mind, the witness is permanent in relation to those things. It survives all of them. In the night comes and times come to sleep, and then the shop of perception is closing. And the weakness itself subsides, because the weakness now has nothing more to witness now. He goes into oblivion, or he may arise in the state of dreaming, like that. But now you ask, this even the sense of being, you've heard it say that is observable. It is observable, but that which observes it has no eyes. It has no form. And imagination cannot introduce him. He is intuitively known. It is non-phenomenally known. But there's no qualities to compare. And so one has to be ready to bear that seeing initially. And it does not hurt, you see. The only place where things can hurt is in the body-mind instrument. It feels like that. But I speak only of this because I have to. I'm not broadcasting it. I'm not going from people to people shouting this from rooftops. But when one comes in front of me like yourself with this authentic question, then I say, yes, that is also perceivable. But don't look for anything like the previous kind of perceiving. It is not a witnessing of activity, you see. And once we're in the state of the I am, or the I am the person, activity is it is our climate. The perceiving and the measuring of activity and contrast and interpretation, and we are addicted to experiencing in that type of field. But where I'm speaking of, one gradually comes increasingly somehow to acknowledge that even the beingness, prior to the beingness, is the unborn, the uncreated. Sometimes I've called the beingness the child of the Absolute. He is also the Absolute. The DNA is the Absolute. But this type of talk, I will not so keen. You have pushed me. I'm speaking like this. There are many people who have never heard this type of thing. And I'm not trying to ram it into anybody's mind. But the one who is thirsty for this water comes and drinks at this well, the well of emptiness. Not as a competition to be, oh yes, you see, I did it, I'm the first. No, but somehow compelled by some unseen force to look at this. He is the Supreme Self. The God beyond name and form. He's absolute. It is distanceless. He gives birth to being, and through being gives birth to the world. If I speak of this, I can't speak much. Strangely, some emotion is produced in my being. Not all ears are ready for that. It is the most pure. When he manifests his being, he shows his kindness and love and mercy and peace, his joy and all-encompassingness. But prior to this, he is the unknowable, unattainable through the mind or through any effort. He is the Supreme One. Unimaginable purity. None exists, including the being, apart from him. By his grace, you're called. We have come to such a place, I cannot speak more. I don't know if I want to go back even into the place of being to speak further. Before the birth of choice, you are this. Nothing appears to exist or can exist outside of him. He does not reside in the sky or deep in the belly of the earth. He's everywhere, not one particle, every atom obey his will. He is the original one, with no one apart from him to gauge his originality. He is the absolute beyond the concept of absoluteness. And though everywhere present, rare is one who finds him. And by his grace, this conversation has taken place. You've used your time well.